It's time now for a look at the day's business news. We say hello to Yuka Royer. The week began with flummoxed investors in New York seeing this IPO for a ride-sharing service out of China scrapped all of a sudden. And now China's announcing it's tightening the screws.
That's right. That buzz coming out of the New York Stock Exchange last week, well, the picture has completely changed. The Chinese government now says that it will introduce new rules on data flowing out of the country and tighten control on market activity. The announcement comes after Beijing removed ride-hailing service Didi from app stores on the heels of its stock market debut in New York, and took similar actions on two other tech firms that also recently listed in the United States. Now, under the new rules, there will be more scrutiny on companies listed overseas and stronger sanctions on what Beijing sees as market manipulation. China will also check sources of funding for stock investment and control companies' debt levels. The move is the latest in Beijing's clampdown on the tech sector, hitting online giants with antitrust and data security investigations. Now, shares of Didi, as well as of other US-listed Chinese firms, tumbled in New York this Tuesday following the latest crackdown. Meanwhile, messaging app Weibo jumped about 40% at one point on reports that it's planning to go private. Let's take a look at the broader market picture now, and the US shares are generally weaker on the first day of trading after the 4th of July weekend. European shares ended the day in the red, weighed by weak industrial data coming out of Germany. Let's have a look at the figures now, the closing figures here in Europe. There you go. London's FTSE, Paris's CAC 40, Frankfurt's DAX, all down by about 1%. Moving on, 2 years after it went on the back burner, the potentially explosive subject of pension reform is back on the table here in France. President Emmanuel Macron received representatives of trade unions as well as employer groups at the Élysée Palace this Tuesday, hoping to restart negotiations. The president has indicated, though, that he's now looking for new ways to balance the budget. Luke Schrager reports.
In Paris on Tuesday, a rare moment of marching in lockstep both for unions and employers. The message: no pension reform during the rest of Emmanuel Macron's term in office.
I don't think it's good timing for anyone. We've spoken a lot about the pensions issue over the last few days, but in my opinion, the absolute priority at the moment has to be jobs. I don't think it's the best idea to make it an electoral issue.
The president has tabled the issue in recent weeks, with indications he's looking to balance the pensions budget. In 2019, Macron made pension reform a central thrust of his drive to streamline a Byzantine system of different arrangements. However, the planned move to a universal points-based system was deeply unpopular and led to some of the worst protests and transport strikes that had been seen in years. While that plan may not be moving ahead, there may be other options waiting in the wings, such as raising the retirement age by 2 years to 64, or a simplified regime with payment of social contributions over a longer period. Either way, after the government spent €100 billion on keeping the economy afloat during the coronavirus pandemic, some may be wondering if he'll show the nation a similar courtesy, less than a year out from the presidential election.
Indeed, that very controversial, unpopular plan back on the table now.
So close to election time. We'll see if he actually puts it to Parliament. Yuka Royer, many thanks for that business update. It's time now for sports, and we say hello to